welcome to another episode of Activados. It is your host. I'm just kidding. I don't host this. This is actually my first time at this table. I'm at the big boys table now. Hi. And hello to you too. Today we have Kevi, Alfaro.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Without the end, right? Yeah.
Kevin without the end.
Actually,
yes,
tell me on that. Like, why is that?
And it's still a mystery.
It's still a mystery?
Yeah. I never found out who messed up, who didn't put the end. The end just went missing. Yeah. So.
It got lost in the in the files. Yeah. In the archives.
The only thing I know is around age 9. They started calling me Kevi at school. I was like, "What? I guess that's my name."
That's my name now.
Verified it with my social and my ID. Yep, it's Kevi. It's not Kevin. So
it just got swapped.
Yep. Yeah. Just like that. Just like that, you know.
Yeah. So this is that's pretty funny. Actually, so you were just mentioning you were an IBP. I didn't even know that. How was that?
Man. It was a good experience. It was actually a beautiful experience getting to go through that. I feel it's a privilege more than anything, but at a certain point, you kind of feel like they kind of undersell it because, you know, you hear from other people say, "Oh man, it's hard. It's, you know, we struggle through it." And I'm not gonna lie, you know, it is somewhat of a struggle, but it's mostly because you try to balance everything, you know, your regular life and, you know, different ministries at church, while trying to balance everything together. You know, still got to go and attend, right? So, I mean, it was a privilege. Was it difficult? I wouldn't really consider it to be very difficult. So for those who are wondering whether you should join or not, I really would encourage you to do so, because it's not like it's, you know, going to be the hardest classes you're going to take. You know, they're pretty straightforward, but you learn a lot from it. And I think it's an opportunity to not only learn more, you know, I would say learn about the Bible, learn more about, you know, the history of the Bible. But it's an opportunity to really, you know, engage in a commitment, you know, to try to grow closer to God, to try to know God more. And, you know, if you're able to stay within the 2 years that, you know, it's currently at, then I think you will really come out very with a lot of benefits out of it, rather than thinking that, you know, you probably wasted your time. I think it's a privilege, it's an honor, and I'd recommend to anybody who has or wants the commitment to go through that.
Yeah, that's what's up. I've always thought about it, you know, like I don't live in Houston, so it's like it's a bit rough. But do they have an online option? Do you know?
They don't, but they might be considering it. We had una hermana that she ended up moving to California, and you know, Pastor Chicas came inside the class, and he's like, "Who can help? You know, stream the classes through Zoom?" Nobody picked up their hands. I was like, I guess I'll do it. So, you know, hopefully that encourages them, because I mean, I think the sister, you know, felt pretty comfortable considering the circumstances. But, you know, if it's done well enough, I think it could be an option they can explore. Of course, you know, it's all up to the board whether if they want to approve such a project or not. But
sure.
I don't see why not. You know, it's very possible.
I think it'd help out a lot, especially for people who want to take it,
right,
aren't really in Houston area and stuff like that. So
right.
Is that where you started media, or?
Nah, I actually started media with in COVID, man.
COVID, yeah, same.
Yeah,
same,
COVID. It just
same, right.
I had nothing to do, so I started digging into more stuff. Nah, I mean, honestly, it all started with COVID, of course, but, you know, our church ended up closing its doors due to the quarantine, and because of that, you know, we saw that other churches were leaning towards live streaming. We really didn't have the capability of live streaming. I mean, prior to COVID, we never really focused on any kind of media. We didn't have no social media accounts. We didn't have any plans on, branding the church or even a logo for the church, so it wasn't in the plans. Nobody was really focused, although I was really interested back in high school. I was really interested in learning more about cameras, but it never really became a passion for me. So yeah, whenever we ended up closing our doors, well, they brought up the idea, what if we upload preachings, to YouTube, and be able to share that with our congregation. The idea at first was simply, just upload preachings, but we were like, well, why not, try to emulate it or try to mimic a service, right? And post that so that our congregation at a certain time can be able to see that and gather with their families and, listen not only to the word, but have a moment of worship and praise, right? So with that in mind, we were like, okay, well, let's try it. We'll try one time and see how it goes. And, we had a sister that, thank God, she lended us her cameras, so with that, we went ahead and started. I had taken some classes back in high school on graphic design and on video editing and photography and videography. So with that, I was like, I guess we'll pick up on that again, Yeah. So I mean, that from there we took off. We decided to go ahead and brand the church, create a little bit of content for the church, and from there, I mean, of course, COVID. A lot of people had a lot of time. I had a lot of time, so I started diving deeper into it. Once quarantine was over, we decided, well, let's try to do live streaming because we didn't know if everybody was going to go ahead and come in. Remember, me and my friend, we stayed the day before we were going to go ahead and open church again. We decided to go ahead and, launch everything for the live stream. So we got there in the afternoon, Saturday afternoon, and we worked everything. We tried to connect everything, make sure that we had a computer running, make sure we had all the cables necessary. And, we basically pulled an all-nighter. We stayed there. We were like, why go home? It's already 6 a.m. Let's just go ahead and stay here. Yeah. And then service was coming up at 10 a.m. And it turns out we forgot one cable. So all that work, and we ended up streaming our first service with the phone. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So lesson learned. From there we just started doing live streams on Sundays, and it was a challenge because again we weren't really focused on that. We really hadn't put any thought or consideration into that, so we really weren't expecting for it to last as long as it did. And of course, whenever we saw that at least 60-70% of the church was already coming back, we were like, well, we don't really need live streaming anymore. So we decided to give that up. But at that point, I myself was already invested into the ministry of media. So I was like, you know what, let's keep it going. Let's go ahead and try to purchase a camera. We presented the idea to the pastor, and he was in for it. Of course, budget was not the unlimited, so we ended up starting creating content with a Canon M50, and we went for a the Canon 50 millimeter 1.8, the classic,
classic combo.
setup.
Yep.
Yeah, and with that we started. We launched our social media accounts, and from there we just took off. Yeah. So. It's been a journey. It's been a journey, but I take it in a way where we get the opportunity to share the word of God, outside of what we were used to. The way that society is going, we see that a lot of people are invested into social media. So why not utilize this tool to be able to share the word of God, to be able to show people outside of our community, outside of our church, that hey, there's a lot of things out there in social media that are being presented to the kids, to the teens, the young adults, but right here we have the opportunity to be able to showcase what God is doing in the midst of a bad world.
Yeah. I agree completely. I mean, social media has just opened that door, you know, to I always call it this, and I'm pretty sure I've said it like countless times on here, but modern day evangelism, you know, it's just, it's a way to reach people that want to be reached, you know. With old school evangelism, you know, I'm not saying it's bad, like door to door knocking and all that. Like, I think that's great. The thing is, a lot of people don't really want to hear it now.
Right.
But if they're looking for it, like actively looking for a church, they're more likely to, be converted, and they're more likely to go to that church. And especially if they have like some sort of social media presence, you get to see kind of, before going, you get to see a little bit of, okay, what's going on here? How do they do their services? Are they the same as something that I'm used to, you know? And, you know, I mean, Google's great. You know, Google's great.
Google and YouTube.
YouTube, man. And Instagram, I end up geotagging normally, like, just the church.
Right.
So we have a location. Because then it goes into location based, and then the algorithm just does its thing, you know, and people have, DM'd us and messaged and just asking like, hey, where are y'all located? Right. Or when's your services? And, you know, we tell them, and then they show up, you know. Sometimes they stay, sometimes they don't, you know. But it's another way to reach out to people and stuff like that. So, and hey, on your first live stream, dude, don't worry. My thing was bad. Or y'all can see the video, but our first stream, we had Pastor Bernard. We had him on, and the camera settings were so bad. My shutter speed, for some reason, I decided to have it all the way up to 1/4000, and then to compensate, I ended up increasing the ISO. So, so I ended up it was like 1/4000 shutter speed. I think it was like 3.5. ISO was like 10,000, something ridiculous. And then on our audio was also bad because I didn't connect it to the mixer. So it was just the audio that the computer was receiving. So there was no mic. Like, it was just the in-house system towards the computer, and that was it.
All you hear is just
static.
I've heard it. People call it the underwater effect.
It was. It's embarrassing. For me. It's really embarrassing.
The thing is, you can never. Yeah. I mean, of course, you can bring it down, but
it gets distorted and stuff. Right. But I mean, honestly, I think it was an experience for all of us. Yeah. Like, media really blew up after that. Because I mean, I ended up getting a camera in January. It was, I think we were just supposed to like, we're not supposed to, but it was supposed to just be, you know, just take pictures here and there, you know, just kind of slowly get into the social media arena. And then COVID happened, right? And everything is like, now you got to learn how to do live streaming, and now you got to learn how to take photos, video, audio. Oh my goodness, audio. But everything just slowly developed, and it developed very quickly. And honestly, I'm really happy where stuff is now. You know, it's just developing, it's growing a lot, and you know, it's another ministry, it's another place to serve. You know,
right?
And that's just it's kind of nice, you know, seeing a lot of youth joining it and getting into it. And you know, at this point, for me personally, like, I'm trying to make it my career too. So it's just slowly it's just developing more and more and more. And I don't know. I think that's pretty cool.
I mean, it opens up opportunities, like you said, and one of the biggest ones is for me to be able to give that opportunity to the younger people to serve. You know, there's a lot of younger people that sometimes feel out of place in other ministries. You know, they don't feel with the capabilities of being able to preach or teach a class, or, you know, be able to be an usher at church. So sometimes they feel that they're not capable of that. But whenever you present an opportunity, you know, hey, you can help out with media, right? Whether if it's just simply, you know, handling a camera, or, you know, running lyrics, any aspect of media, you know, I think that's a great opportunity to be able to, you know, give other people an opportunity, to give them the, I guess, the direction. Hey, you can start off here. You know, once they start feeling comfortable, now they get that sense of like, hey, I'm useful in the church, right? I can I'm able to serve and I'm able to do more things, right? So thank God, we have at my local church, we have a group of 7, that are currently working in the media ministry, and they can call me out if they want to, right? But it looks like they enjoy it. It looks like they enjoy it. It looks like they really enjoy serving in media ministry. And you also, whenever we ask some of the youth what areas they would like to work or what areas they would like to start serving, you see more people trying to, hey, I actually would like to try media. I would like to try learning how to do graphics or do video edits or record or take pictures. So it's a good opportunity that has been presented to be able to I like to call it or see it as an entryway to serving. Now you don't have that pressure on. Now you have to start, preaching or teaching or being an usher or in the kitchen ministry. I remember when I was a kid, we had if we wanted to start serving, you had to lead a service, culto de niños, right? Or you had to do a canto especial. And it's like, man, yeah, you had to be in front of people.
Yeah.
I think this is a good way to give the younger people an opportunity to serve. If they're a little bit more reserved, they feel more comfortable working in the media ministry, and that's a good entryway to other ministries. They see how, it all also comes back to the type of leadership that you have in that ministry. I personally like to tell my team, like, don't focus more on serving, but rather we're here with the purpose of serving others, right? Our purpose is not to be seen. It's not to be or to call for attention. I've always shared with them and told them, like, I don't like to create content so that people can see, oh, look at how creative they are, right? I'm leaning more towards the aspect of, like, hey, look at the word that is being shared in our church, right? I don't, we try to be as creative as we can, but the main focus is to share the word, to share what is going on in our church, which is, a church that preaches the word of God, right? And I think, that's what I've tried to teach to my team at my church, that, hey, everything that we do is for the purpose of glorifying God's name, right? We're not there to be seen. We're not there to say, oh, look at the nice graphics that are on the screen, or look at the lyrics that they're presenting for the songs. Like, all this is to glorify the name of God, right? And I think that if we do it with that mindset, that we can be a greater blessing for them.
Yeah, for sure. It's the purpose that drives it,
Mm-hmm.
And like with every ministry, it should be God in first place,
Right.
To present what He has done in our church, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the message we're trying to bring, the message of salvation, and just it's a beautiful thing to be able to represent that, capture the moments, and be able to show that,
mm-hmm.
to others, and it's developing a lot, and it's working out. Yeah. I think it's working out. I think it's doing
absolutely
doing great.
You see a lot of more people wanting to get involved. With the experience that I've been able to gather. At first I started with my church, right, and from there, other teams or other people have reached out. Hey, how do you do this, or how do you how could you help us in this area, right? Although you do want to be careful with that, of course, right? Because I remember while I was in IBP, there's a lot of other areas where I was also involved, and that kind of got me a little bit, unorganized with the things that I was doing or my ministries. So it got to a point where I had to actually choose and say, hey, maybe I need to back off of this part, right? Maybe I need to, let this part go for now and really determine. So, with that being said, you always want to be focused on, like we were talking about, right? The whole point is to glorify God, right? Sometimes as creatives or as people that like to, work on media for church, you think about it and you're like, man, I wish I could serve with the district, right? Or I wish I could serve with the people that are running on convention, or, you know, other major groups that you see running media. So you work and work and work and try to better yourself for that opportunity to come one day. You know, but once you get those opportunities, you start taking more and more and more, and you bring so much on your plate that sometimes you're like, what am I doing? Like, I can't focus on one or the other, you know? So that's one thing that you always want to be careful with, you know. At the end of the day, like we've been saying, right, it's all to glorify God. It's not to put yourself in a position where, hey, look at me and what I can do, right? Mm-hmm. It's with the mindset of, hey, let's glorify God with this new media opportunity, right? Or this new medium that we can use. Let's glorify God with that, you know.
Yeah. No, I agree completely. Yeah, it's all for God, and I mean that's why we're here, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
But yeah, honestly, I think it was a great episode. I don't know how to outro this. Segue. But yeah, thank you for tuning in with us. This is very new to me. Here at Activados, go like, share, subscribe, follow him on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. I'm fine. But follow him on Instagram.
Follow the church. Don't follow me.
Follow the church. Yes.
Seguidores de Cristo. No.
Hi, thank you for joining us this week on this new episode of Activados. It was a privilege for you to be here with us, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please go do it quickly. Go do it now. If you haven't liked our videos, you're missing out. That like button is good for you. Also, go look us up on Instagram, Facebook, any of those platforms. We're going to be on there, and always have the joy of the Lord in your heart. There's nothing better than being with us every Thursday on Activados. Thank you very much. Have a great day.